I would never say concerns are uncalled for. Everybody ought to be concerned about those kinds of things, but I don't necessarily think it's any worse than doing the same thing on a traditional dedicated server. You do get, certainly a little bit more isolation with a dedicated server, but in the cloud world, there's a lot of precautions that are taken to build an environment that is secure and that is isolated from the other customers in there. We don't want people to go into an environment that's unsecure, so we spend a lot of time securing the cloud, the environment, the provisioning system, the portal. We've done security audits on it. In many ways, we do more to protect the cloud than most customers would do individually on their own to protect their own environment. The only thing that they're getting with that non-cloud environment is sort of that isolation and dedicated environment. I use an analogy to explain how cloud can be safer or more secure or whatever than a dedicated server. I use an analogy of transportation. Most people feel safer and more secure in their own car. They feel like they're in control. They feel like they've got the ability to make their own decisions and the flexibility to do whatever they want. They feel safe. Now, it's sort of a false sense of security. If you're in an airplane, for example, people feel generally unsafe because they think they don't have control, they can't fly it, they can't jump out if they need to, they can't do anything, but yet the statistics show that traveling in an airplane is much more safe and secure than traveling in your own car. And I think the same analogy sort of applies to cloud versus a dedicated server and a dedicated environment. The precautions that are taken in the cloud are dramatically more enhanced in terms of the work that's done, the security audits, the preparation than most people do on their own environment. So it can be safer. Yeah, so that's easy. You can get scale, rapid scale. You can burst up or burst back down in response to traffic, so you only pay for what you use when you use it. Much more granular billing. Sort of a utility-based pricing model is something you can get there. I think the big one is just really that ability to take advantage of resources for very short periods of time or very quickly in response to whatever requirements you have. If you have developers who need access to a test environment, you can spin that up and use it for a few hours and then turn it off and don't pay for it anymore. If you have a website or a web application that has a huge traffic spike, maybe you're on TV or something, or you have a big event coming up, the cloud can allow you to scale up very quickly in response to that traffic. And again, you only pay for what you need. I think those are some of the most compelling benefits of using cloud technology. Really, it levels the playing field for small startup type companies. I think the fact that you can buy cloud services with no contract, that you can pay for them with a credit card, you can get them for a very low entry point or entry price, that helps people that are in the sort of startup stages, the early stages of companies, and it allows people to get access to pretty heavy duty infrastructure that they otherwise probably wouldn't be able to. Okay, so Moso is a brand name that we used when we first started in the cloud business. We had an idea for a platform for hosting websites, web applications, very scalable platform, something that would allow people to host an application that they didn't have to have any worry from that point forward about how much resource they were using, how many servers they were using. It was really a place to build an application and drop your code onto this platform and then let it scale. Now, Moso, again, was the first iteration of our cloud. It also became sort of the name of the division within Rackspace that was doing all of our cloud work. So later we added a couple more products to the name Moso, and at this point the name Moso is sort of fading into the background. We've rebranded under the name of the Rackspace Cloud. So the Rackspace Cloud currently has 3 different products. The old Moso product is called Cloud Sites. The next product is called Cloud Files, and then the most recent is called Cloud Servers. Now, Moso is viable as a product for a lot of different companies. A lot of people use it for blogs. They use it for brand websites, corporate websites, even e-commerce websites. And so it's very popular with startups, people that don't have a lot of budget for infrastructure but need a place to scale and grow. We also see a lot of social networking type applications running on Moso, people that don't have any way to predict how much infrastructure they're going to need. They know that if it takes off, they'll need a lot, but they don't know when and they don't know how much. So that's very popular for that. And then people that are sort of using Moso, I guess, also for complementing dedicated services. Sometimes they use dedicated servers for some of their more mission critical applications, maybe the database heavy applications or business applications that are core to their business. And then they use Moso sort of for the external website, the blog that's for the community, or the internal portal website, or what have you. So it's a way to offload some of the web hosting to another location. versus the competition, we're very competitive. We're competitive on price, we're competitive on performance. We have better customer service than almost anybody in the industry. I think that's a big differentiator around all of our cloud products is the customer service. Rackspace is known for fanatical support. That's our brand name for our service. And that has always set us apart. People do need help with these services. It's not, hands-off, do-it-yourself completely. People are having challenges every day with their IT infrastructure. And so that's the big way we differentiate. But I do believe that even without that, on the technical merits alone, the products are all very competitive. Moso is a platform as a service product. If you want to look for a competitor in that category, it's probably something like Google's App Engine. App Engine is proprietary, uses Python technology and the big table database. Our platform uses very open technologies like the LAMP stack or the Microsoft .NET stack, SQL Server, MySQL, very familiar technologies to developers. The other products in the Rackspace cloud platform, the cloud servers and cloud files, both compete very well with Amazon's web services. The cloud servers is similar to Amazon's EC2, cloud files is similar to Amazon S3, and those products from a developer standpoint or from a user standpoint, they look similar. Amazon certainly has a head start on us. They've been doing it a little longer, but we have the ability to customize it and tailor it for the customers that we serve. The people that are doing web hosting in our existing data centers can now start to tie those two things together and make the best use of traditional hosting plus cloud hosting in the same environment. We call that a hybrid hosting option, and hybrid is something that is probably going to be unique to hosting companies versus cloud-only companies because they don't offer dedicated servers. They don't offer traditional SAN and traditional storage. We think that hybrid combination is pretty compelling for people that want to start to dip their toe into the cloud but still have a lot of investment in traditional applications that maybe don't run so well in the cloud yet.